Okay, we're going to get started. If you haven't already done so, please mute your microphone and disable your camera for this fun virtual family meeting for OPA. Welcome everyone. My name is Vince Riccobene, and it's my honor and privilege to serve as the principal of OPA. Man, oh man, it's been a long journey since March the 16th, but we are so excited and ready for a safe and healthy reopening to OPA this upcoming Monday. There's a lot we want to share with you guys. There's been lots of information the district has shared with our families. We want to assure you to the best of our abilities that our model and our process will be safe, will be responsible. We've had an opportunity to have kids on campus already. This last summer, we had a summer school that went successfully for all of our students. And we started actually having students on campus about a week ago, and things are going just great. And our neighbors, Port Townsend, they've had even more kids on campus, and things are going great for them as we've been collaborating with them in terms of the model that we're trying to create. So, you'll have to forgive me. This is my first one of these meetings, so I am much more of an in-person kind of presenter. So we're going to do the best that we can to share some information with you. But if there are questions that we haven't gotten to tonight, please let us know. You could put them in the chat. Leanne is monitoring the chat, or you certainly can email us and we'll try to get the information to you as soon as possible. So without further ado, we're going to get into some of the details of our plan, but joining me tonight is Kim Glasser and Leanne Parker, and many of our staff members are also logged in as well, so we're excited to have people be able to have a chance to kind of chime in. So tonight I want to kind of start with just a big sense of gratitude. This has been just a long and challenging journey, and the first folks I just want to say thanks to is certainly the staff at OPA. All the teachers across, our district and the nation, for that matter, have had to deal with a complex new learning paradigm, and they've done so in a professional and positive manner. And I'm thrilled to be collaborating right alongside them, and they're just doing an amazing job. So I really want to thank the OPA team. Also, I want to thank our students and families. It's challenging for our kids out there. As a parent myself, my own kids are having their own challenges with this, so I have a perspective of it. And though I've been part of OPA for a short time, one of the characteristics I've heard over and over again from families and from staff and from students is the strong sense of family and the strong sense of community, and that has certainly been an example for us thus far. So we're very excited to have this time together. So tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about the health and safety expectations. And our goal is to have a safe return to classrooms. We'll talk a little bit about our check-in process. We'll go through what the schedule looks like, and we'll talk a lot about the expectations that you can have for your students. One of the hallmarks of OPA is it's a parent partnership program, and parents, you're an integral component of what that's about. Unfortunately, we are still a closed campus. All the Swim School District campuses are still closed campuses due to COVID. And so Monday, when you're going to be bringing your child on campus, we're going to be asking that you remain in your vehicles. As challenging as that sounds, we need folks to do that. We're going to have staff outside, and they're going to be meeting and greeting your child, and they'll be taking them into the gym for our check-in process. As much as we want to partner with you, we just have to do that right now in terms of maintaining our closed campus. We can still have families on campus. We just need to have an appointment for them, whether that be for your student learning plan or if you have to need to see your teachers. So that's one of the big kind of differences that'll be happening when you come on campus on Monday. One of the other things, and you've gotten some of this information already from the district offices, that we're asking families to complete a brief health attestation form each day for their students. This is a brief questionnaire that goes over some of the common symptoms that we're finding currently: fever, cough, body aches, sore throats, runny nose, all those kinds of things. And the second question is a more specific question regarding any contact with folks in terms that may have been around COVID-19. That's one of the most important things we're asking our families to do. As an employee and a family member in the district, I have forgotten to do that, and so we're not going to chastise families for doing that. Our district staff, should you forget to do that, will reach out to you and be in contact with you and just ask and remind that you do that. So, like I said before, we are a closed campus, and so when you come on campus on Monday and drop off your child, there'll be staff out front greeting your child. We will have both staff and students are required to wear masks at school at all times, and we'll have masks for kids should they not have one. But there'll be a brief health check-in when students come into the campus. We'll take them into the gym. We're going to do a vigorous hand washing process. We'll check to see if they have a mask. If they don't have one, we'll provide one for them. And then we're going to be walking students to their classrooms. We'll talk a little bit about our classroom process now. Kids are going to be broken up into cohort models, and what we mean by that is we'll have about 5 to 8 students in a classroom at a time. And so on campus at any given time, we're only going to have between 20 and at most 30 students on campus. And the reason why we're having a cohort model and students won't be moving around as much is we're trying to kind of keep students in one location for a period of time to eliminate mixing of groups and so on. And so so students will remain in their classrooms for the majority of the day, with a few exceptions: recess, lunch breaks, and also we're going to have students certainly needing mask breaks. In terms of lunchtime, students will not be eating in the cafeteria in a big, huge group. It's going to be a grab and go process. We'll have small groups of students socially distanced, and they'll do grab and go and return to their classrooms for lunchtime. One of the other points I forgot to mention in terms of the cohort model, while there wasn't a magical number per se of the number of students that could be in a classroom at one time, what you can envision is that our students have to maintain social distancing while they're in the classrooms, and masks should be on. And so while students are in classrooms, we're going to be modeling and doing the best we can to maintain 6-foot distance between each other. One of the times that students are able to head into a different classroom is they'll be able to head into our gym. And for very low cardio type activities, while they're there, they're still going to be required to wear their masks and to social distance. Here's kind of an outline of what our schedule is going to look like. And going from left to right, our goal was to create a model where we had our students on campus at least once a week, and they were remote the rest of the week. That's relatively simple to do for the K-8 students. It's very challenging to do for our high school students, and Ms. Glasser is going to talk about that in just a few minutes. The complexity with our high school students is they still have to be able to be part of Sequim High School's synchronous times, which take place in the afternoon. So as you can see here on your screens, our kindergarten, second, and fourth graders have school all day long on Mondays. And on Tuesdays, it's first, third, and fifth. Wednesdays remaining our professional development and office hours kind of days. And one of the things you'll notice about our 6th and 8th grade students is we've broken them up into Group A and Group B. You might be asking yourself, how do I know what group my student is in? We have not shared that information yet. We were waiting to present this tonight, so you had an idea why we were doing it, and we will communicate to you tomorrow morning if your student is in Group A or Group B. So the reason why we had to do that is those groups of students were too large to social distance in a classroom, and so we needed to break them up into a couple of subgroups so we were able to have safe and healthy social distancing happening in those classrooms. So on Thursday, we've got 6th grade Group A, 8th grade Group A attending, and then on Friday, 6th grade Group B, all of the 7th graders, and then 8th grade Group B. So that kind of completes what's happening K-8 during the school week. Now, if you're a 1st grader, you're coming to school on Tuesday all day long, you can expect to do your remote learning throughout the week. And the same goes for like a 6th grader. If you're at school all day long on Thursday, you can expect to do your remote learning on all your other days. Kim, this is a test to see if this is working. Are you able to share some high school information?
Well, you tell me. Can you hear me?
We sure can. This is working. How amazing.
So you may hear some basketball players behind me also that are yelling on the court. So hopefully I'm in the car trying to make sure it's the quietest place. So hopefully you guys can all hear me. I just want to say, just like Vince was saying, we are so excited. March seems like a long time ago, and we are ready to see your kids. We're doing, like he said, everything we can to make sure it's safe. And thankfully, our school kind of lends itself to making sure that they're small groups and that we can try to stay the 6 feet away. So we've been really working on making sure it's safe, and we are all ready for you guys. So high school, we are keeping the 1-3-5 model that they've already been doing on Mondays. And the difference will be that they'll actually be in person instead of the synchronous in the end of the day. So algebra, Sarah will see those kids at 8:15. Now, if your child is wanting to stay remote, what that will look like, and Vince will talk about this more too, is the synchronous time that they usually had, Sarah, in the afternoons will now be at that 8:15 time. So that will be a combination of the kids that actually come in person. And then if your child is remote, they will be on the computer, and we will just act as if they're right there in class. Thankfully, we had some practice of that today with Leanne, and she was at home working, and then we were able to just bring her into our class remotely with the computer. And so that's what that will look like for 8:15 for algebra. 9:15, those same 9th graders will come to my English class. And then at 10:15, the seniors will come. Now, we realize this isn't a full day, which no high schoolers usually have a full day at OPA anyways. And so transportation, we realize, will be an issue. So we have the computer lab in my space that they can come and work and do any of their remote learning that they have for their other classes, or you can come and pick them up. So that's what the Monday looks like. U.S. history, because of the size, it's so big. There's 19 of you in there. Paul's just going to keep that remote. So that's going to stay the same time that they have always met. And then Tuesday, the high school will only be the World Lit class, and that's just the 10th and 11th graders. And they'll be from 11:15 until 12:15. And then we'll do the same thing on Thursday and Friday. So for the high schoolers, actually, the OPA high schoolers, it's worked out well that we will get to see them in person 2 days a week, just like we have always done in the past. So add anything there, Vince, that you think I may have missed.
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of share just some general information with you now. So it's a regular school day for OPA kids, 9:15 to 2:45 on the day that you come. Of course, that's K-8, I realize, with the exception of our algebra students and any students that'll be on campus because of transportation. We've been trying to get a hold of families to figure out their transportation needs. We got a small list of folks that need that, but if you are in need of transportation, please contact our office, email Leanne, or give her a call so that she knows to do that, because we're rallying that list to our district transportation department tomorrow. So if you need that, and if you have a friend that wasn't able to make this meeting tonight, please let them know. We'll post this recorded as well, but that's important information for us. I want to talk about just kids and health and wellness for a few minutes. And one of the things I shared in a staff meeting today is as employees and as teachers and as parents, we are the models for our children, and the importance that is for helping us help your children understand the importance of washing their hands frequently, of wearing their mask at all times. We have some sanitary wipes that students will be able to kind of wipe their areas off, and just the importance of what that is. That's going to help our community with each passing day get closer and closer to having a regular life. And if we can kind of be a strong family and have that shared value of the importance of our own health and wellness, we'll get closer and closer to having students here more frequently and quote unquote a normal school day and life. So your support in that is appreciated significantly. One of the other things I wanted to share regarding that is that should you have an opportunity to make an appointment and meet with a teacher, one of the things that we wanted to assure you is that in every classroom we created a little wellness stations, and so there'll be an additional set of hand sanitizers and masks and also wipes, and so that process is going to be happening not only when kids start the day, but before they have lunchtime, before they come back from recess, throughout the day frequently. And so we are committed to making sure that we do the absolute best to sanitize everything that we need to have happening to be successful. So at the end of the day, unlike times in the past when we've been able to have parents just all around campus grabbing their kids and visiting and spending time in our classrooms, unfortunately, due to COVID, we are not able to do that on any of our campuses. So what we're going to do is we'll have some designated areas right out front in that little, in front of Leanne's office, in that little turn area, and we'll have students kind of socially distanced out in that area with 4 or 5 staff members. And when you pull in, one of the great things about OPA is we know your vehicles. We don't know your license number, but we do know your vehicles, and we'll be able to safely walk your child to your car for you, and so that you can, pick up your son or daughter in a positive manner. Our goal is to have our kids safely return to school. We are super excited for the 1 day a week model, that in-person instruction to take place. Your kids will be remote the rest of the week. After several weeks of this being successful, we'll look at what kind of model we'd have to have the twice a week model take place. We're a ways away from that, and in meeting with staff today, we're like, oh my gosh, what's that plan? And we haven't put it together yet, but we're not even sure. But we just want to get through the next couple of weeks, you feeling comfortable and safe having your child come to OPA and learn in person, and then also navigate, the other days of the week still remaining remote, which is challenging as well. So one of the dynamics here, before I talk about what if your child wants to remain remote, is, so now if you want to think about it, there are 3 platforms, so to speak, of instruction taking place. So you can kind of visually picture face-to-face instruction, live Microsoft Teams instruction, we're calling synchronous, and then also asynchronous instruction, which is also, hey, do these assignments, and they're posted in Canvas. Those are complex worlds to navigate. And one of the challenges we have as instructors is, how do I build a bridge connecting those 3 worlds? And that's the challenge we're in as systems across the nation, really, is bridging those gaps. And so one of the questions I keep talking to our staff about is, how are we planting those seeds of success between these different learning paradigms? Because it's brand new to all of us. And so that's a challenge we're living with currently as well. One of the questions that I got from staff and from families over the last couple days is, hey, what if I want to stay remote, but I want to stay at OPA? And the district is committed to making that a possibility for you. And like Kim said earlier, we even tested that out. So we had a staff meeting today, and we brought Leanne in on a Microsoft Teams meeting, and we had our meeting just like that. And so we were able to prove the concept that a student can access a live in-person teaching via Microsoft Teams, and we'll literally have a laptop in each classroom. And so if you decide and want your child to remain remote, that's completely okay. So during that face-to-face time. If that's not something you want to do, we would just need to know that information, because then we would need to schedule a team session for your child. One of the challenges with that is, just if you can picture for a moment, is that someone has to operate that laptop on the other side and in that classroom. And that's a little bit simpler in the secondary classroom, but much more challenging if you were a K-3 teacher. And so one of the roles some of our other staff will play is they will literally be sitting behind that laptop and, having it point toward the classroom teacher or point toward the screen if they're presenting some information. But your child will certainly be able to hear conversations, engage with peers, and follow along as if they were part of the face-to-face instruction. That kind of concludes what we needed to share with you tonight. I haven't said it enough, and I'll keep saying it. We're just excited and thrilled to see your children over the next 2 weeks when they come in each morning, and they're going to be in the gym for about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to welcome them, get to know them, and assure them, ask them to join us in being a community of being healthy and safely returning to school, and that they have a critical role in the success of coming to school face to face. And we're just excited for that process to take place. We appreciate you guys logging in and being here tonight. Once again, if you have questions or you need some further information, you certainly can email Leanne or myself, and we will be glad to get back to you. Thank you very much.